It was surreal, former Manchester United defender David May once said of Sir Alex Ferguson regarding a 1996 team talk. "You were expecting the gaffer to absolutely rip everyone's head off. It's an approach many anticipated Erik ten Hag to adopt at Anfield after the club's 7-0 whitewash at the hands of Liverpool last weekend." He indicated in his post-match press conference that he had had stern words with his players and did not give them a chance to air their thoughts. The Dutchman was keen to stress that United had the characters in the dressing room to bounce back from that defeat by getting back to winning ways in the Premier League, starting against Southampton on Sunday. He will be looking for the kind of reaction Sir Alex was after against the Saints at their former ground, the Dell, 27 years ago, when he decided to take a different approach. In the modern era, top clubs have all kinds of backroom staff members. From penalty experts to throw-in specialists and physios to psychologists, elite football clubs have got it all. That said, they probably don't have eye specialists. During his reign, Sir Alex welcomed in the late Professor Gail Stevenson from the University of Liverpool, who used to come into the club twice a week for more than 20 years after arriving during the 1990s. Gail was one of the leading vision scientists in the world. United's former executive vice chairman Ed Woodward explained upon her sad passing in 2015. She understood the benefits that her specialism could bring to sport and persuaded Sir Alex Ferguson to make Manchester United the pioneers in that area. Gary Neville later outlined the impact Shed had on the players. "Along with other players, I did eye muscle warm-ups every day and pre-match because of her," he said. "There's a bit of science behind this," he then added when speaking to the Quickly Kevin podcast in 2019. "You know how people talk about being match fit or he's not got his sharpness back. Sir Alex, and she never believed that it was anything to do with physical capabilities. Physically, you always worked hard to come back from injury, you tried your best and were physically fit anyway. Sharpness was the alertness and your vision. It was about how quickly you could pick up your teammates. So when the ball arrives into you and you're playing well, you know where your next pass is before you've started. That's not a physical failing, it's an awareness thing." Neville continued. "She brought in a lot of eye exercises and alertness exercises, about eye muscles. She said you stop using your eye muscles when you're injured, in a football sense. You wouldn't be looking around you all the time, you wouldn't always have that picture when you receive the ball. So during one day at the Dell, Sir Alex swapped the hairdryer for the airdryer at halftime. Get that kid off, you're getting changed. Those were the first words he said at halftime, recalled Lee Sharp to The Guardian in 2006. United were donning the infamous grey shirts and found themselves 3-0 down at halftime against Southampton. Taking into account what Stevenson had advised regarding colour, Sir Alex ordered that the team change into their blue and white alternative kit, claiming that his players couldn't see each other on the pitch against the backdrop of the crowd. Recalling one piece of advice from Stevenson, Neville outlined, "She actually said to Sir Alex. This was the detail that he would go into. Imagine you've got this crowd behind you. There are colors that you can see quicker than others and that stand out more than others. It's obvious. The reason people wear bright yellow on a motorway is so people can see them. People don't wear gray on a motorway. Shed said to him, "This is not right. The players will not pick it, the gray shirt, up in a crowded atmosphere as quickly as the other ones." This is something that had been going on for months. Had rejected this kit a couple of months before. He was not having it at all. The vision specialist then started to work with our kit manufacturers on how our kits stand out the most. There was a bit more science behind it than the gaffer didn't like the kit, and that's the reason why we were losing. The boss brought it up at halftime versus Southampton. He hated that kit. Assistant kit manager Albert Morgan was sprung into action and scrambled to get the new kit out in time. "Albert, get that F******ing kit out," Sir Alex commanded, as recalled by May, who remembered Morgan scurrying around the room trying to get it done in time. "One player had the wrong sock on," May added. "It was absolutely bananas. You were expecting the gaffer to absolutely rip everyone's head off, and all he had a go at was the kit." In later years, Morgan unpacked how his overhead and longtime lead kit manager Norman Davies was less than warm to the advice given by eye specialist Stevenson, but ultimately played a pivotal role in the not-so-spontaneous halftime strip change. Stevenson heard about the problems they were having with the shirts, so she did a study on it and wrote a letter to the boss, Morgan once told the official Manchester United podcast. "He got me and Norman in and said, 'What do you think about this letter?' I won't repeat what Norman said." The week before the game, the gaffer said, "Take that blue kit down to Southampton." Norman kept saying, "I'm not doing that." We said to him, "You can't do that, you'll get fined." "I'll pay the so-and-so fine," he said, "take it." As the third Southampton goal went in, the gaffer turned around to us and said, "You two, go and get that kit out now." If we hadn't packed the blue kit, we would have been dead. United went on to lose 3-1, but the loss did not prevent them from lifting the Premier League title. He says to this day we won the league on that one goal in the second half, May said of Sir Alex. United were indeed fined £10,000 for the kit change, with the United boss branding it in 2012 as the best £10,000 I ever spent. Speaking about the kit change after the game, Sir Alex insisted it had nothing to do with the fact United were losing nor superstition, but because the players don't like the grey strip. He added, "The players couldn't pick each other out. They said it was difficult to see their teammates from a distance when they lifted their heads. It was nothing to do with superstition. The grey strip never saw the light of day again." Matt Le Tissier, who didn't even notice the change of color until afterwards, called Sir Alex's reasoning probably one of the worst excuses I've heard. But the legacy of his inspired decision still had influence more than 20 years later. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer asked for the seat covers in Old Trafford to be changed from red to black, giving the same reasons as his former boss did 2 decades earlier. "We've looked into this," the Norwegian said when quizzed about his request in April 2021. "There shouldn't be a reason, really. But some of the players have mentioned that split-second decision you have to make where you look over your shoulder to see if your teammate is there or not, and the red shirt is on a red background with red seats. You'll see a change now. If you see the banners around the club, it's not red anymore." Some United fans called for drastic action from Ten Hag after Sunday's humiliation to Liverpool. "I always enjoy speaking with people who have a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience," the Dutchman said after being pictured dining with Sir Alex in Wilmslow last month. Whether he will ever follow his predecessor's example and introduce a half-time kit change remains to be seen.